Hello everyone, what's up? Carl Wolf here, and we are finally back with some more Steins Gate Zero. It has been a couple weeks since the last time we played. And where we last left off, we were actually redoing some old scenes. Because we've gone down a new path, but these are scenes we've seen before. And I didn't really think about that last time. Hello Queen Potato, welcome in. Congrats on first. But I didn't realize until after the stream was over that, oh hey, I probably could have skipped through all those scenes. Those were scenes we all saw before. So I wasted an hour on old scenes. Thanks for your daily check-in. How are you today? So the same thing with this. This is old scene, so I'm just gonna go ahead and not voice act this and just skip ahead. Carefully. In case something new does happen. Yeah, we've seen all this. This was on the other path. I can't... There's no skip, I think. I forget what the skip is. No, it's not that. Oh, this is how... Oh, okay, that's what that button is. This is how I could do my YouTube thumbnails. How do I skip ahead, though? I don't know. Oh, that's how. It should all be the same. Yeah, this is the same. And then she jumps on Suzu, points a gun at Suzu. Ooh, I feel I went too far. Wait a minute. No. See, this is what I mean. I was trying to be careful. Where did we just go? Hang on. Let me try that again. I think we just passed where I should be. Let me stop to the gun point. Once we get to the gun. Carefully. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm also doing good. Just trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be. Okay, this is where I should be. I skipped a little too far ahead of this. On every night that passed, she remembered Kagari. Suzu had spent some time looking for Kagari when she'd first come to this era, but in the end she never found anything. But Kagari Shiina, who was now 22 years old, was here in Akihabara. Suzuha was sure of it.
Oh, Mahotan! Osu!
Oh, Mahotan! Hey! Itaru was sitting at the computer next to Suzuha and talking into his monitor. The monitor was displaying a video chat screen. On the screen was a young girl dressed in slovenly fashion. Ahem. No, a proper, fully grown lady. Sus? Oh, her. See, that's what I missed.
おはよ
Yes, she is a adult. She is a proper adult. What was her voice? It's been 2 weeks. Whatever. Morning. I guess some people might get some new voices. It was 8:30 p.m. at the Future Gadget Lab in Akihabara. Meanwhile, Victor Crondia was an hour off from usual due to daylight savings time, and it was 7:30 a.m.
う。ヒヤジョーさん、大丈夫？
Hyajo, you okay?
この時間だし寝起きっし
It's
ょ。
early. She probably just got up. Maho was a mess. Her hair was never combed right, but her eyes were bloodshot and her gaze was wandering. The spots under her eyes were too dark for the little bit of makeup she'd applied to cover them up. Her cheeks were sunken, which made her look even tinier than usual. On top of all that, her skin was terribly pale. She looked like something out of a zombie movie.
低血圧魔法炭も燃える。
Anemic Mahotan, for the win. Normally, she would have gotten upset at Itaro's joke. But either she'd gotten used to it, or simply given up, because she said nothing.
そっちの進展はどう？
How are things going there?
なんとかオカリンが
I've
分
managed to
解しちゃう
rebuild
前
it
の
to how
状
it
態
was
に
before
組み立て
Okarin
直
took
し
it
た。
apart.
機能
I
はほ
think
ぼ
it
再
does
現
most of what
で
it
き
did
てると
before.
思われ。
Itaro glanced towards the development room, past the curtain in the back of the lab. Right now, he was working with Maho to recreate what Okabe had called the time leap machine.
うまくいかないの？
Does Okabe know about this? It's not going well.
なんか安定し
Yeah,
ないっつう
it's just
か。
not stable.
普通の電子
It
レ
ends
ン
up
ジ
being
に
a
なっ
normal
ちゃうんだ
microwave.
よね。
そう。
I see.
何がいけないのかしらね。
I wonder what's wrong with it.
オカリンにそこんところの
If we
話
could
を
ask
聞ければ違ってく
I'm
るん
sure
だけ
things
ど
would be
な。
different.
無理だよ。
We can't do
私た
that.
ちがこんなことして
He'd
い
get
ると
really
知った
mad
だ
if
け
he
で
even knew we were working
怒
on
鳴り
this.
込んでくるよ。おじさんは恐れているん
Uncle's
だ。
afraid.
世界線の収
He's
束
afraid
す
of the
る
power
力
of
と
the
いうも
worldline.
の。
Convergence.
あの人を説得するのは
It won't be easy to
容易じゃない。
convince him. In fact, it had almost been a year since she first tried and failed.
うーん。
There was a moment of silence.
で、マホタン、もしかして寝
Wait,
てんじゃね？
Mahotan, are you asleep? She's drooling. Fwa? Maho's whole body jerked, and she almost fell out of her chair.
あ、危なかったわ。出勤前なのに二度寝してしまうところだった。
That was close. I almost went back to bed before I left for work.
つうか、頑張りす
You
ぎだ
know,
お。
you're working
無理
too
して
hard.
体壊したら意
If
味
you
な
get
く
sick,
ね？
it'll only slow us down, you know?
このくらい平気よ。というか、
I'm fine.
こ
And
れだけ
actually,
やっても
after all
まだ
this work,
天才にはかなわないんだから。
I'm still not as good as the real genius.
そんなことないと思うけどな。
I don't think so.
僕はさ、
You know,
マ
I
ホタ
think
ン
you're
だ
a
って
genius.
十分天才だと。
気休めなら不要よ。
I don't need you to make me feel better.
岡部さんの言っていたタイムリープ。
I've got all these hints about the time leap machine that Okabe told me
未
about,
だに解を見つけ
and
ら
I
れ
still
ない
can't
んだ
find
も
the
ん。
answer.
記憶データなんて膨大なも
How
の
did she
を
manage to compress
ど
all
うやっ
that
て圧
memory
縮して
data
過
and
去
send
に
it
送
to
る
the
ことがで
past?
きたのか。クリスはそれをやっての
Karisu
けた
managed
っ
to
てい
do
う
it,
の
but
に。
Maho seemed upset. It was obvious even through the monitor.
ああ、ごめんなさい。
Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't the time to complain, is it? Is there anything else to report for today? If not, I'm going to head to work. You should sleep.
もう一つある。
There's one more thing. Suzuha looked at Itaru.
前から調べてほしいって
About
頼まれ
what
て
you'd
た
asked
件
me
に
to
つ
look
いて
into.
何か分かったの？
Did you find something?
はっきりしたことはまだ。
Nothing clear yet.
そう。
I
あち
see.
こちのネットワークに強引に侵
I've
入
done
した
some
りとか
breaking and entering
ギリ
into a
ギリまではや
bunch
っ
of
てみたん
networks
だ
and taken things about as far as it's safe to do so.
別に責めたりしないわ。
I'm not
今
blaming
分か
you.
っていることを教えてちょ
Tell
う
me
だ
what you
い。
know.
いやむしろ激しく罵倒と
No,
かしてくれて
if
OK
you
な
want
わ
to
け
start
だ
screaming
が
insults, I wouldn't mind that at all.
父さん、
Dad,
早くして時間が来ちゃう
hurry.
から。
I'm running out of time.
ほいほい
Sure, sure. Itaru opened a different window on the monitor. He displayed one of the text files in it. It was a record of the information Itaru and Suzuha had collected.
まず魔王たんたちが
First, the
ホ
incident
テル
where
の
you
地
were
下駐車
attacked in the
場で
hotel
襲われ
basement.
た事件警察の発表だと
The cops say it was some
信仰カ
kind
ル
of
ト
crazy
教団の
cultist on
男
a
が違
drug
法薬
trip.
物を使った末にって話になったあれ間違いなく嘘だわ
But that's definitely a lie.
嘘？
A lie?
犯人の身元は警
Just
察
like the
発
police
表通り
announcement said,
某
he
大
was
学
an
の
assistant
准
professor
教
at
授
a college.
これはいいんだけどさ
And that's
そいつが
fine,
宗
but
教
I
団
can't
体
find
に所
anything
属
linking
して
him
た
to a
っ
cult
つ
at
う
all.
事実がこれっぽっちも公安が隠し持ってる教団員の
I
デー
tried
タにも
accessing
アクセ
public
スして
safety's
みたか
secret
ら
data file
確
on the
定
cult. So I'm certain of it.
捏造ってことなの？
So they're lying.
アットチャンネルとか見てるとさ
If you look at
信
ad
者っ
channel,
ぽい人が
you'll sometimes see
時
people
々
who
書きするん
look
だ
like
よ
they're from the
ね
cult,
教団
claiming
は
that
無
they're
実
innocent
だ
and that the
と
whole
か
thing's a
陰
conspiracy.
謀だとかそうすると一瞬でもの
Whenever
すご
that
い数の
happens,
教
the
団
haters
が
show up
湧いてきてフ
And
ル
they
ボッ
beat
コ
the
なわけ
daylights out of the guy.
しかもそのアンチどももっ
And
と
the
もらし
haters
い
always
偽
have
の
this
証
really
拠とか
well-made fake
ガンガン出
evidence.
してくるんだよ
Digitally altered
画
images
像
and
付き
stuff.
とかで
Of course.
いくらなんでもあれはちょっと異
There's
常
no way that's a coincidence.
そうなの？私そのアットチャンネ
Really?
ルというのをあまりよく知
I
ら
don't
ない
know a lot
から。
about this at channel thing. Well, ask Arisu.
アットちゃん含めてさ大抵
most
の
of the
大
big
手サイト
sites
に
have
は
agents
工
on
作員が張り付いて
including
る
ad
もんなん
channel.
だよしかもビジネスとして
Didn't that come
バ
out
イト代
about-
もらってね朝から
Was it
晩まで
Reddit or was it
24
something?
時
No,
間
it
ぶ
was
っ通し
4chan,
で
right? Was it 4chan? Where there actually were FBI agents that were posing as that were mods, acting as mods? Like that came out recently. And they get paid like it's a business. So they do it 24 hours a day. From morning till night.
情報操作、プロパガンダだね。
Information control. Propaganda.
政治家や官僚なんかも
Politicians and
ネット世論の誘導に利用して
bureaucrats
る
use them
し
to influence
そ
public
れを
opinion
専
on the
門に
net.
してる会社もある
There
く
are
らい
even
だわ
companies that specialize in this sort of thing.
なるほど。それならわかるわ。
I see.
その
I
あた
can
り
understand
は
that.
アメリカも日本も
America
同
has the
じね。
same thing. Yeah, we do.
でも工作員なんて僕からした
And
ら
these agents can change their
IT 変えて
IP,
もバレバ
but
レ
they
な
can't
ん
hide
で
from me.
それでチェックしてみたらあの
So I
事
did
件
some research,
すご
and
い
there's an
人数
insane
の工
amount of
作員が
agents
投
assigned
入
to
さ
that
れてるっ
case.
ぽいどこからそんなに金が出てるんだよっ
It's
て
to the
レベ
point where I
ル
have no idea where the money to pay them is coming from.
そう。
I see.
父さんのバイト先が襲われた方の事件
Well,
は
what about the attack on your workplace, Dad?
そっちも同じ
Same deal. The police had called it a fight between foreign mafias trying to expand their territory in Japan. The media never questioned the story at all, and even the people on the boards of the famously skeptical 8chan believed everything they were told. Of course, there was no mention whatsoever of Russia or sarin.
でさ、試しに目
So I
撃者を
decided to post
装
a
って
thread where I
ロ
pretended
シ
to
ア
be a
の特
witness
殊部隊を見た
and
って
said I saw
す
some
り
Russian
立てて
special
みたんだよ
forces.
ね。
That's dangerous.
そしたらまあすごい
And
の
wow,
なんの
was I
炎
amazed.
上しすぎてびっ
Talk
く
about
り
some
し
serious
た。
try-hard trolling.
あん時は思わず工
I
作
got
員の
pissed
本
enough
名
that
か
I
ら
almost
会社
doxed the
名ま
agent's
で
real
全
name,
部さら
his
してやろ
company
うか
name,
と
and
思ったっ
everything
つ
else.
うの。
Damn. Evidently, he'd been really irritated. It was rare for Itaru to get so angry. Or maybe it wasn't, she decided.
つまりどこかから圧力が
In
かかっ
other
てい
words,
て
pressure came down from somewhere to shut down discussion.
さすがは
That's
自
Japan
由
for
の
you.
国日
A real
本だけの
free,
ことはあるわ。
a real free country. I need to drink some water.
アメリカも似たようなもんじゃんね。
America's no different, is it? No, not
違
really.
いないわね。
You've got that right. The two of them smiled at the joke. Funny because
つ
it's
うわ
true.
けで僕としては
Anyway,
お手
so
上
that's all I
げ。
can do.
そう、
I see.
それで十分よ。
That's enough.
調べてくれてあり
Thank
が
you.
とう。
ヒアジョーさん、研究所から
Hiajo,
来日の
You
許可
think
が
you
下
can
り
get
そうなの
permission from the lab to come to
そ
Japan?
れがレスキネン教授の
I
助
keep
手として
sending
連れて
requests to
行
go
っ
as
てもら
Dr.
えるよう
Liskinen's
何
assistant,
回も申請してい
but
る
they
の
keep
だけ
turning
ど
them down.
却下の連続。
レスキネン教授は今こっちに来てるん
Dr.
だっけ。
Liskinen's here now, right?
ええ、
Yeah.
新型脳炎の調
He's
査で
researching
ね。
the new encephalitis. Since it had nothing to do with artificial intelligence, it seemed Maho wouldn't be allowed to go along.
いいわ。どうしてもダメ
But
と言う
that's
なら
fine. If
こ
they
っ
keep
ちに
turning me
考え
down,
があるもの。
I've got ideas of my own.
どうする気？
What are you going to do?
まさか。
Don't tell me you're going to defy your superior's officer's orders to drop the
そ
case.
して悪に捕まって
And
し
then
まう
you'll
んで
get
す
caught
ね。
by
わ
the
かり
bad
ます。
guys. I've seen that hentai before. Itaru, please.
ねえねえ、真帆たん。殺せ
Hey, hey,
って言ってみ
Maho,
て。で
say-
きればすごく悔しそうな
kill me
顔で。
in as frustrated a voice as possible.
は？
父さん、
Dad. Suzuha's hand went for her back pocket.
させん。
Sorry. Itaru's shoulders slumped as he apologized. Lately, she'd been able to put a stop to Itaru's terrible jokes just by doing that. Why? How? Because of the gun? She wasn't sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing that she knew exactly how to handle him. Good thing?
まあ、とにかく近々そっちへ行くわ。
Anyway, I should be there before too long.
わかった。日
Okay,
程が決まったら連
tell us when
絡
you've got a date.
を。それとヒアジョーさん、
Oh, and
出
Hiajo,
勤するなら
if you're
もう
going
一
to
度
work,
鏡を見て
you
から
should
に
take
した方
another
が
look
い
in the
い。
mirror first. I think she looks cute. Just before they ended the call, Suzuha decided to warn her.
ん？
Maho stood up and walked towards the closet without turning off the camera. Uh-oh. She vanished from view, but a moment later... She must have seen how terrible she looked, because she let out a very unfeminine scream. They relaxed for a moment after turning off the video chat. Suzuha thought back to the time before she'd become a time traveler. She did this every time she got off the video chat with Maho.
タイムマシン開発の協力
Maho
者。
Hiajo.
ヒアジョー真帆
Someone
か。
who helped build the time machine, huh? It was after Maho had gone back to America that she'd volunteered to help Suzuha and Itaru win the time machine. That meant that when Itaru Hashida completed the time machine 25 years from now, Maho Hiajo must have contributed in some way. But
あんまり未来のことを言うのはまずいんだけど、
I know I shouldn't say too much about the future,
そんな名前
but
の
there was
人
nobody by
いな
that
か
name
ったんだ
helping
よ
you, you
ね。
know?
え、そうなん？
Huh? Really?
ということはさ、ど
Which
こかのタイミング
means
で
she
開
probably
発
left
メ
the
ンバー
team
から
at
抜
some
けるっ
point.
てことなんじゃないかな。自分の意思なのか、
I don't know
そ
whether
れ
it
以
was
外
of
の
her
外
own
的要因
of
な
her
の
own
か
free
はわ
will
からない
or
け
due
ど、
to some external factor.
少なくとも開
But if
発の
nothing
主要
else,
メンバーじゃ
I
なか
don't
った
think she
と
was
思
part
う。
of the core team.
そう
I
な
never
の
heard
か。
of her from the first
かな
game,
り頼
so
もしい人だけどな。
I see. She's pretty handy to have around though.
こんなことを言いたくはないけど、
I don't really want to say
どこかの
this,
スパイと
but
いう
there's a
可能性
possibility
も
she
あ
might
る。
be a spy. Technically, she is, but not of her own will. She's brainwashed in her head. Otherwise, she's not a spy.
いくらなんでも真帆たんに限ってそれはないよ。
What? No way. Not Maho-tan of all people.
ごめん。
Sorry.
でも、そういう可
I
能
just want you
性
to
もある
remember
って
that it's a
いうことだ
possibility.
けは頭に言ったでしょ。
I
第
told
三
you.
次世界大
The
戦
war
前
of
の情報
information that
戦
comes
は
before the Third
もう
World
始ま
War
ってるんだ。
has already started.
どっちにしろ、マシン
Either
の秘
way,
密が無
we
駄に
can't
漏れ
let
るのは
anybody
困る
find
よ。
out the machine's
それ
secrets.
だけは徹底するよ
Just
う
make sure you're very
ちゃんと
careful
注意
about
して
that.
おいてよね。
うん。
Yeah.
で、この先のタイムマ
How
シ
are
ン
you going
開
to
発
work on the time
は
machine going
どう
forward?
進めていくつもり？
やっぱオカリンの協力がない
We
とな。
really need Okarin's help.
結局、そこなんだよね。
That's the thing. I don't know if we can persuade Uncle Okarin.
いや、こうなったら力ずくで。
I might have to do it by force. Oh, I was about to say, didn't this happen after that? But maybe that was on the other world line.
前にそれしようとして失敗したのはどこの
Oh,
誰だ
never
っ
mind.
け？
It was this one. Who was it that tried that before? And then it failed. Suzuha pursed her lips. Even with a gun in his face, Rintaro Okabe still wouldn't get in the time machine. To be honest, Suzuha was out of options. She stifled a sigh. It didn't do any good to let herself get down.
そういえば、母さんとはう
Come
ま
to
くや
think
れ
of
て
it,
る？
how are things with Mom?
な？
Hmm?
私、そっちの方も心
I'm
配
more
な
worried
んだ。
about that.
大丈夫？
Is
私が生ま
everything
れてこ
okay?
なくなるような事態
I'm
に
still
なら
gonna
な
be
いよ
born,
ね。
right?
なんつうの？
Well,
タイムマシンよりもなんだい？
is that more important than the time machine? I think it is, just a little bit. Yes, the birth of your future child, whether your future child exists or not.
ちょっと。
Hey! Suzuha stormed over to Itaru.
困るよ、父さん。
You can't screw this up, Dad. You can.
うん。パパ、頑張るから
Yeah,
ね。
Daddy's gonna do his best, okay?
いつも口ばっかり。
All you ever do is talk.
例の映画の
You
チケ
even
ッ
wasted
トも
those
無駄
movie
にしちゃっ
tickets
た
we
んで
gave
し
you,
ょ？
didn't you? She meant the pair of movie tickets that Mayuri and Ferris had conspired to give them at the Christmas party.
あれはさ、
That,
オカリンと
that was
フルク
because
スが
Okarin
倒れ
and
ちゃ
Miss
ったじゃ
Fubuki
ん。
collapsed. You know?
その後、お見舞いとか
We
で
were so
バタバタ
busy with
してる
hospital
うち
visits
に
and stuff
映画
that
が
the
終わ
movie
っちゃっ
left the
てた
theater.
わけで。
It's not like it's my
しょう
fault.
がないっつうか。
でもその後、
But I
新しい
heard
チケッ
that
トを用意し
I
よう
heard that
と
when
し
they
たら
tried to give you new
断ったっ
tickets,
て聞
you
いた
turned
け
them
ど。
down.
誰に？
Who told you that?
マユ姉さんとルミ姉さんに
Big
決
Sis
まってるじ
Mayu
ゃ
and
ない
Big
か。
Sis Rumi, obviously.
そりゃあれだ。
That's because, you
マユシ
know,
とフェイリスタに
it's not very manly to make those two do all the
男ら
work,
し
is
くない
it?
っしょ。キリッ。
It's also not very manly to beat around
自
the
分で
bush.
何か行動に移したわけ？
So, did you go and do something yourself?
うん。
Nope, that's a no.
ダメだこれ。
This isn't going to work. Maybe this was a more important problem than the time machine. Suzuha brought her hands up to her head.
いい父さん
Listen, Dad.
い
I'm
つま
not
で
going to
も
be
こうや
around
って
to
お
lecture
説
you
教
like
で
this
きない
forever,
んだから
okay?
ね
I'm leaving
も
soon.
うすぐ行っちゃうんだよ
あ
Oh. Suddenly, there was a sad look in Itaru's eyes.
そういう顔しない
Don't make that face.
約束したはずだよ
I promised I'd stop worrying
も
about
う
it.
迷うのはやめにしようって
For the past 6 months, Suzuha had been thinking about whether it was really right to erase this world. But in the end, it was none other than Itaru who pushed her to go ahead.
ごめん
I'm sorry. She couldn't bear to see her father so depressed, so she patted his broad back.
しょぼくれてないで母さんに
Don't
メール
just
し
sit
て
there and be glum.
予
Send
定の
mom a
空いてる日
message.
がないか聞い
See
て
if she's free sometime.
で空いてたら
And
映
if
画
she
に誘
is,
う
invite her to a movie.
ゲーいきなりハードル高すぎ
That's way too sudden.
高すぎでも何でもいいか
I
ら
don't
誘
care
い
if
な
it's
さい
sudden or not.
いい
Do it
こ
anyway,
れは
okay?
命令だからね
This is an order.
命令って
An order?
返事は
Hang on. I was trying to adjust the volume at the beginning. I do see it going to yellow a bit. But it was much quieter at the beginning than it is now. What's your answer?
さあイエスさ
Sir, yes, sir. Satisfied, she headed off to take a shower. Oh god,
でも
we're
そ
not...
の前にちょっとだ
Oh,
けコンビニに行って
but before
くる
that, I'm going to hit the convenience store.
何しに
いや実は
It
夕
put
食
dot
が
dot
まだ
dot, but
っ
she
つう
said
か
something. Did she say
今夜も
why?
徹夜になりそうだし遅くならないうちに
I actually
買
haven't
い出
eaten
しよう
yet.
と
I'm probably going to be up all night again. So I want to get there before it gets too late. Still hunched over, he pointed towards the development room. He was pointing at the phone wave, named subject to change, Unit 2, that was put together but still undergoing testing. Don't glare at me like that. I'll eat as healthy as I can, so please, forgive me.
バニラ
There it is again. Wait, have we had this conversation before? This part? This section? On the other route, didn't they... She said to get her some ice cream, yeah. Vanilla.
はい
Huh?
私シャワー出たらアイス食べたいバニラ
I want ice cream when I'm done with my shower. Vanilla ice cream. If this is what I think it is, then... Kagari should show up soon, question mark.
わかった庶民がなかなか口にできない高級な
Actually,
や
no.
つを
Do they have the thing that
いっぱ
Kagari
い買って
lost? I
きてあげ
don't
る
remember. That's the thing about these world lines. It's hard to keep what happened in what together. Okay, I'll go buy you a lot of really top shelf stuff.
いっぱいはいらないよ
It doesn't have to be a lot.
一つでいい
Just one thing is fine.
さあイエス
Sir, yes, sir. That was enough to cheer Daru up. He took his wallet and ran out of the lab.
やれやれ世話がかかるん
He's
だ
such
か
a
ら
handful. She had just taken off her jacket so she could take that shower. But
鈴葉
Itaru had come back into the lab.
どうかした
What is it?
階段のところにさ
I
粉
found
が
this on
落
the
ちてたんだ
stairs.
よね
Uh-oh. That's not how they had it last time, is it? Or maybe it was, but uh-oh. It's the thing. Actually, no, maybe it was. Itaru showed her a keychain he was holding. It was a round anime character whose color had faded to a smoky green. It was an Upa. So this is when Kagari is going to come and attack Suzuha, trying to get this thing back. If that does happen, I will have to skip ahead then. I want to see if anything changes slightly first before we'll get to the shower scene. Do you know whose this is? Big Sis Mayu, probably? She leaned forward to take a closer look, and then felt like she was experiencing deja vu. I've seen this Upa somewhere before. So unfortunately, I just stream at random times because I can't guarantee when I'll stream. The only thing I can guarantee is that I stream every single day. Because sometimes, like, personally, if it were up to me, after work, whenever I do work on a workday, I would just come straight home and chill for maybe about an hour or two, eat something, and then stream. But sometimes I'll get randomly sent to the store, or sent to go pay her bills, or do some other nonsense, or do some housework, some manual labor. I never know what I'll be forced to do. And then sometimes just my mood when I have to deal with the nonsense and whatnot. So the only thing I can guarantee is that I stream every single day. I just don't know when. But usually, because it's 4 minutes to 7 p.m. for me. Usually for me it's about hopefully about 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. that I try to start, at least. I try. On a work day, anyway. On a non-work day, I might try to start earlier, depending. But sometimes I don't get to. So no, unfortunately I don't have... It's just random times. But welcome in. She'd seen it before. She couldn't really remember when. But her eternal alarms were going off. This keychain was extremely important. Upas were common enough that you could find them anywhere. The plastic edges had worn down. The paint was faded and coming off in places. Thanks for your response. I just wanted to ask. I want to sit on your stream but need to sleep now. No worries. Definitely get some good sleep. I appreciate you stopping by. But there was no dust, and there were no stains. Instead, it shone brightly, as if its owner had put a lot of effort into taking good care of it. The chain was so old that part of it had snapped off. That was probably how it got dropped. Where was it? I've seen this before. Did Mayushi show it to you? I don't know. She stared at the green Upa in Itaru's hands. And then, in her mind, she heard a young girl scream. Yeah, this part's the same. I don't want to waste too much time on this. I'm going to start skipping ahead a bit. Trying to see if anything is different. She gasped, feeling, yeah. So this is the same. So this is when she realizes it belongs to Kagari. Yeah, Kagari's. So Kagari is still going to show up and attack Suzu. That's still going to be the same on this path, it looks like. Yeah, the Mayu's daughter.
Yeah.
つまりどういうこと？
あいつこのラボを監視してるんだよ。
So she goes and takes a shower, and he goes to the convenience store. When she gets out of the shower, the room is very dark,
え僕
and she feels like something is different.
世界線の摂理を信じるなら、ただシュタインズゲート到達を阻止するために、
Something is off in the
これ
room.
からは用心のために、私が
わかった。
オカリンおじさんや母さん気休めかもしれないけど、
でもさ、もしそれで嫌われ
See, I want to press Control to skip, but I'm scared to skip past anything that's new. It shouldn't skip anything past new, but I don't remember seeing that Maho video chat before, and it skipped past that. I mean, maybe I just don't remember,
結局
but
そこへ話が戻ると
I don't remember seeing that video
注
chat.
意だけはしておいてよね。
な鈴葉
そうだよ。
あの眉師に育っなんかす
だとよかった。けど
Here, let me
今の係
carefully
は
press Control.
多分。
Then she takes her shower. She should be stepping out of the shower. It's dark. And she realizes something is wrong. Okay. She looks to go see if she has her guns around because she planted guns everywhere, but they're missing. There's Kagari. And then they get into a fight. I'm just carefully holding down Control in little small bits. Yeah, this would take me like half an hour to get through all this if I were to read this all again. And this is all old stuff, so I'm not doing that. Let's not waste that much time. Let's get to the new stuff. Yeah, go past this. No, go past this. We don't need to see this again. Okay, the lights are back on because Daru showed up. He turned the lights on. And then she takes Daru as a hostage. Actually, no. She uses him and then escapes. Not as a hostage. Never mind. So when we switch scenes, that's either going to be something new
まさか
or
かが
something
りと
I've seen still. I don't know yet.
結局あの子のことは小さくてもいい。私もけどあいつはもう
彼女
Come on.
父さん、
の
アイス
ああもちろん
食べた
Yes,
い
he bought the ice cream. They eat it.
で
Actually, no, she fell asleep, but
おいすず
ごめん。平気。でも、少し。
now is this going to be different? That seems the same. And I think this should be Rintaro narrating, so. When July came, the sun shone down even harder on eastern Japan. The summer was truly here. The news had been saying for days that the heat island effect might make this the hottest summer in years. And then, on the first Sunday in July, the arrivals lobby at the international terminal of Narita Airport was filled with foreigners and Japanese passengers returning home.
すごい人だね。どんどん増えて
Okay, no, this is the same.
日曜日の
見逃すなよ、マヨリー。
This I
エリス
recognize.
なんせ相手はとにかくちっちゃいからな。
オカリン、今の問題発言は
冗談だ。
Wait, 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 no, 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 hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Is that too late? Sorry, I can't go today. It's fine, no problem. Really? Huh? Why? No, please tell Maho I said hello. Sure, got it. There we go.
でもなかなかやっぱりサプライ
せめて
ズマック
なんかずいぶんやつれてるな。
大丈夫に決まってってそうじゃないわ。どうしてここにちなみに
You know, I'm kind of glad I get to skip past this, so I don't have to do the thousands of female voices. This game has way too many women.
今回は
Yes, we know all that. Ooh, I'm going to hold it down. Stop.
そなた
Okay, hold it down.
お断りします。
ああ、
See, last time on the other world line, Rintaro got kidnapped and tortured and everything. So in theory, that shouldn't happen again this time.
なんなら
それ
I just need to get to the part where that either doesn't happen or something different happens or something.
タル君
信じられない。嘘でしょ。あの変態が。
I know this is the same, yeah. I'm skipping. Because she was finding them on their date, she got noticed, and it became a three-person outing instead of a date between them. I'm starting to be worried I'm not on a new world line, but I know I
そ
am.
んなの。
Because the title of the chapter is different, so...
なん
Come on, get to something new. Okay. I just had to get to a new chapter, apparently. Is this new? I'm sorry, what just happened? Okay, we'll try starting here. There was a small explosion, and the room filled with smoke. The window! Open the window! Okay. Doki. Maho crawled out into the living room. Itaru rushed to open the window, and she heard a man who was probably the building's owner yell up at them. Hey, Hashida! What was that sound? Are you making bombs up there? I'll call the cops. Sorry, the microwave blew up. Ah, okay, this is new. So they're working on the time leap machine, which is not something they were doing in the last world line. So that video chat should have been new, yeah. Itaru poked his head out and apologized to the man below. It took a minute, but the owner was finally satisfied and the argument ended. Wow, that really scared me. As Itaru wiped away the sweat, she saw that his face and clothes were both covered in soot. It scared you? It should've. Maho was no different. Some of her hair had been burnt off, and the white lab coat that she'd gone through all that trouble to get had turned pitch black. Jeez. Explain what's going on. Where did that smoke come from? Probably the microwave. I picked it up from a dumpster, so it probably shorted out somewhere. You picked it up from where? What is wrong with you? We're working on one of the greatest inventions in human history. And you're using parts from a dumpster? Why? I mean, the original one was junk in the first place, so... commercial microwaves are expensive. I can't believe you. Do something about this. Use my credit card if you have to. Maho didn't have that much money, but this was no time to be cheap. That's a big help. Hello Kai, welcome in. Thanks for your contribution. Thanks for your daily check-in and congrats on second. How are you today, Kai? I hope you had a much longer rest today. Maho wiped her sweaty, soot-covered face with a towel. The white towel turned black immediately. 9 hours sleep? Good. Much better. I can't take this anymore. I'm turning on the air conditioner. Ooh, about that. That's not happening. Enough to go on for 3 days? No. Okay, yeah, you better be kidding. If you use it at the same time as the phone wave, it'll trip the breaker. And I told you, you can't use that air conditioner for more than an hour a day, because it's so expensive. She's about to lose it. She's about to crash out. These working conditions were abysmal. Was Kurisu really able to create the time leap machine under these circumstances? Yes. Worse, actually. Just thinking about it gave her even more respect for Kurisu. Well, to be fair, she was in love, so... Fine. But I'd at least like to take a shower and get this suit out of my hair. Go ahead. If you even think about peeking, I'll go straight to Suzuha. Remember that. I wouldn't do that. For some reason, Itaru responded to Maho's warning by sighing and slumping his shoulders. He wanted to. He wouldn't do it that,
僕は
though.
今そういう状
And
態に
actually,
付き合ってい
I
ら
don't
れる
feel
ほ
up to
ど
dealing with jokes like that
心
right
の
now.
余裕はないよ。
Maho had meant it as a joke. She was extremely serious.
昇進の僕は今週は
And
エロ
in
ゲ
such
ス
a
を
bad
歌っ
way
てる
that
状態
I'm
な
not
ん
even
だ。
playing H games. Hello, Kemi. Welcome in. Thanks for your daily check-in. How are you today, Kemi? She heard from Suzuha that the day she arrived in Japan, Itaro had screwed up bad on a date. It was true that Itaro was a lot quieter than his usual self. Mayuri had even said that Daru not playing H games must be an omen of some impending natural disaster. I am good, that's good. I'm also doing great. Finally back to Steins Gate after a couple weeks. But either way, she didn't have time for his negativity, so she mostly ignored him and went to the shower room. Ooh, thank you for your contribution. Since Suzuha had used the shower regularly, it was relatively clean. There was a good selection of body soap and shampoo, and Suzuha had told her she could use it as she liked.
せっかくの七夕だっていうのに、なん
Spending
でこんなすす
Tanabata
まみれになってないといけない
covered
の
in
かしら。
soot. That day was indeed Tanabata. I'm so not pronouncing that right, unfortunately, sorry. Actually, Maho had been secretly looking forward to this day. Since she lived in America for so long, she was interested in Japan's traditional summer holiday. She was especially interested in the famous story of Orihime and Hikoboshi, and the custom of writing down wishes and hanging them from bamboo. Since she was here, she was sort of wanted to try writing down a wish too. She didn't want to bring it up herself because she didn't want anyone thinking of her as childish. But Mayuri, Ferris, and the other girls seemed like they'd want to do something like that. Part of her had hoped they'd invite her too. And that's why it hurt so much to be spending the hot summer afternoon in the lab with Itaru, covered in soot. She was thinking about that as she washed herself off when...
魔法炭
Mahotan! She could hear Itaru calling her from outside. Huh? What? Don't tell me you're really gonna peek. I dare you to open that door, even an inch. I'll cry. You'll cry? You mean you'll scream? Now's no time for being cute. I just got word from Mayushi. Okurin might be coming here. What? Okabe? Maho's mind started to race. She'd been told that Okabe rarely came to the lab anymore. In fact, after he dropped her off here on the first day, he hadn't come by even once. And that's why she felt safe going in and out of the lab. But... I hid the phone wave, but make sure he doesn't find out what we're doing. Right. I know. Wait. I shouldn't even be here. I need to get back to Ferris's place and hide. Why? Because I'm supposed to be in Okinawa. And that's how she explained her visit to Okabe. Hydrate? I shall hydrate. Thank you, Akemi. If he found out she was working on the phone wave with Itaru, there would be trouble. That's right. Okay, hurry up and come out. I can't. Not with you standing there. Oh, that's right. After she was sure Itaru was gone, she quickly washed the bubbles from the body soap off her body. Her long hair still wasn't dry, but there wasn't time for that. She wiped herself off with the towel and was about to leave the shower room when she heard the door open.
よ、誰？
Hey, Daru. He was here already. She quickly shut the door to the shower room again. But then she looked down and saw that she was naked. Her clothes were lying on the floor past the door. There was no way she could get them without Okabe seeing her. Her only choice was to stay hidden, completely undressed, and wait for him to leave.
でもこんなのすごくなんていうか
But this is
そわそわ
really
して落ち着かない
kind of nerve-wracking.
よ、誰？
Hey, Daru. Daru greeted me as I came inside the lab. He seemed to be in kind of a hurry.
ああ、オカリンか。
Oh,
一人で来
Okarin.
るなんて珍しい。
I don't see you coming by yourself very often anymore. The room smelled kind of like smoke. And someone must have been using the shower room, because the smoky smell was mixed with the scent of soap. But whoever it was, it definitely wasn't Daru. His face and clothes were blackened with soot. Well, I thought it might be Suzuha, but the lights in the shower room were turned off.
何してたんだ？
What were you doing?
真っ黒だぞ。
Dude, you're black with soot.
ああ、これは
Oh, well,
この前粗大ゴミの電子レンジを拾ってきたんだよね。
I got this microwave from the garbage dump, you know,
それでコンビニ
and I was
弁
warming
当
it up at
を
lunch I
温め
got
て
from the
たら
convenience store, and
爆発
it
した
blew up.
爆発って。
It blew
大
up.
丈夫か？
Are you okay?
ブラウン氏に怒られた。
Mr. Braun got mad at me.
あまり目をつけられるなよ。
Don't get him too
い
riled
つ
up.
思い出されるかわからない。
You don't know when he'll kick you out.
そんなことになれば。
If he does that, you might be okay, but Suzuha will have nowhere to go.
そうだね。
That's right.
で、今日
So,
はどうしたん？
what are you doing here?
マユシなら来てないけど。
Mayushi isn't here.
お前に話があるんだ。
I need to talk to you. Good news.
だが断る。
But I refuse.
まだ何も言ってないだろう。
I haven't said anything yet.
オカリンの持ってきた話が
And nothing you ever come to talk to me about has ever ended up being good news.
まあ聞けって。
Come on, just hear me out.
昨日の夜さ。
Last night I went to dinner with Dr. Leskinen, and we were talking about the exchange
留学
program.
の話になったんだけど。
ああ、またその話か。
That again? I was keeping in touch with Dr. Leskinen. Of course, the professor knew that Maho was here in Japan. Yesterday, he'd shown me a picture of her taken in Okinawa. I could see her standing in the surf with a blank expression on her face. A friend or family member must have taken it. Dr. Leskinen had been really nice to me, and I talked to him a lot about going to Victor Crondia. Of course, at a minimum, I needed to graduate my current school and pass the exchange exam for Victor Crondia.
せっかくだから、ダルのことも教授に話してみたん
I
だ。
actually was telling him about you,
そうしたら興味を持
and
って
he was
くれた。
interested. You shouldn't have said that.
僕？
Huh? In me?
ビクトル・コンドリア大学には
Victor Crondia's got something called an information science lab.
世界最高
It
の
brings
ハッカー
together
が
hackers
集
from
まって
around the
いる
world,
らしいんだ
supposedly.
ダルの腕なら通用するんじゃないか。
With your talents, don't you think you'd fit in fine there? I'd been inviting Daru to come to America with me, but he didn't seem that interested. Hello, Lack. Welcome in. Congrats on third. How are you today, Lack? He said things like, I can't imagine living away from the otaku mecca, and no way am I living anywhere you can't get H games and anime figures. Oh, hydrate, thank you. Falling asleep? Is it close to time to sleep? Oh, I guess it is. Have a good one, Lack. Thanks for stopping by. He'd done nothing but give excuses like that.
そりゃあ僕はスーパーハ
Well,
ッカー
I am a
だし
super hacker.
通用すると思う
I'm sure I'd be
けどさ
fine, but
とりあえず教授に
why
会って
not
み
meet
る
with
だけ
him
な
at
ら
least?
名
You've
刺
met
だ
him
ってあるんだ
before.
し
今忙しいんだお
I'm busy now.
一日ぐらいなら時間作れるだろう
You can make time for one day.
コミマが終わるまでは無理かな
Not until Kamima's over, probably.
1ヶ月以上先じゃないか
That's over a month away.
とにかくしばらくは無理
It's not happening for a while, okay?
いや
Give me a
誰
break,
本当
man.
に言い訳ばっかりだな
You're full of excuses.
そんなに
Do you
行きたく
really
な
not
い
want
の
to
か
go that badly? I sighed and sat down on the sofa. This room really was hot as hell during the summer. The windows were open and the fans were running at full speed, but I was still sweating. There was an air conditioner, but evidently he wasn't using it.
誰毒ペって置いてあるか
Who are you to say? I was supposed to go to sleep like 2 hours ago, but Claire Obscure was so good I forgot to eat. Well, don't forget to do that. Make sure to get a little snack or something. Daro, got any Dr. P?
さあどうだったかな
I don't know. Maybe Mayushi put some in the fridge. I got up and took a look in the fridge in the corner of the room. There were regular soda, mineral water, and some sports drinks. But not a single Dr. P. As usual, the freezer was stuffed with juicy fried chicken. Mayuri really did buy a ton of this stuff. Wait, was there even more than usual? Maybe she bought some for Suzuha too. Or maybe it's for an experiment. A certain experiment.
スポーツドリンクもらうぞ
I'm going to grab a sports drink.
鈴葉の飲みかけ以外なら
Take any except the one that Suzuha already drank out of. Why would he take one of those? I grabbed an unopened bottle and took a big gulp. I happened to take a look at the snack shelf next to the fridge. Mixed in with the instant noodles and snacks were 5 bunches of bananas. Oh, suspicious. Mayuri must have bought those too. But still, all that fried chicken and now these bananas. Was she eating more than she had been? She always said that no matter how much she ate, she never got fat, but if she bought this many bananas at once, they were all going to turn brown and squishy before she could eat them all.
マユリのやつバナナを買いすぎじゃないか
Does Mayuri really need all these bananas?
ああそれ買っ
Oh,
てきたの
it
は
wasn't
マユシじゃ
Mayushi.
なくて僕
Mayushi. Who bought who bought those?
Oh.
It was me. I didn't press space. Oh.
ん
Daru quickly cut himself off. Why did I whistle? Did it catch it? Did it pick up the whistle? It did. Daru quickly cut himself off. I turned toward him and he averted his gaze. He'd been acting really weird this whole time. Was he hiding something?
お前がこんなに買ったのか
You bought all
いつ
these.
からバ
When
ナナ
did you
好き
start
になっ
liking
た
bananas?
いやほら鈴葉に言われ
Well,
てるんだって
you know, it was
ダイエット
Suzuha's
もいい
idea.
から毎日
She told me to
食べろ
eat some
ってさ
every day because it's good for my diet.
そういえば昔そんなダイエットが流行ったな
And there was a diet like that before, come to think of it. Some celebrity had gone on TV and said she lost a bunch of weight on a banana diet. And the next day, all the bananas in Japan disappeared from stores. My dad had tried to get in on the boon a little too late and bought a huge supply of bananas, only to see it flare out and most of them rot on the shelves. I remembered that.
だからこんなに一度に買うなよ
So don't buy so many at once.
だいぶ色が変わって
They've
きてる
already
じゃない
changed
か
color. Well, whatever. I was hungry, so I decided to take one. I took a banana and peeled the skin.
とにかく少しは加減ってものを考え
And
ろ
just don't go overboard with everything, okay?
そうだね。
You're right, yeah. I finished the banana in 3 bites and went to toss the peel in the burnable trash can. And then I noticed something strange. The can was filled with bananas. More than anybody could possibly eat. Over half the can was filled up with bananas. And it wasn't just the skins. Some of them were unpeeled, but half rotten, and the summer heat made them give off a nasty stench. I remembered seeing something like this once before.
またゲルマナ作るの？
Uh-oh, busted. We're making gel nanas again? That's right. It was when I was living here a year ago, doing experiments every day. And then my mind flashed back to the contents of the fridge. And that bizarre stockpile of juicy fried chicken. Busted. It couldn't be. I plunged my hand into the garbage can, not caring about the filth.
オカリン
Wait, Okarin? Daru was clearly uneasy, but I ignored him. I was right. Under the remains of the bananas, I saw tons of boxes of empty fried chicken. No matter how much Mayuri liked them, or how much of a glutton Daru was, no one would voluntarily eat this much frozen fried chicken every day. I went deeper into the garbage can. And then I found something I didn't want to see.
なあダル
Hey. Daru.
なんぞ
What?
バナナと冷凍唐揚げの組み合わせ
Bananas and frozen fried chicken.
懐かしいな
This brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it?
うん
Yeah?
1年くらい前か
It must have been about a year
よく
ago.
こうして
We
実
used to do all
験してたよ
kinds of experiments like this.
かなり無駄な使い方してたから
We'd waste a lot, so Mayuri would get mad at us. She'd tell us not to
食
waste
べ物を
food.
粗末にしちゃダメだ
そうだね
That's right.
しょうがないから
So we ended up having to eat the bananas that we warmed up in the microwave to get rid of them.
俺たちで食べて
They
勝負
tasted
したから
terrible.
でも
But we never were able to
さ
eat
すがに
these.
これは食べられなかったよ
What I pulled out of the garbage can was... Uh-oh. A green, gooey mass. It was a thick, disgusting liquid, like you'd expect to see if you crushed a giant bug. The goo dripped out of my fingers and splattered onto the floor. It was what used to be a banana. What we'd once called a gel nana.
おうしまった
Oops. Daru put his hands to his head. But then he evidently gave up on hiding it.
まずった
Whoops.
こん
I
な
didn't expect you to find out this
焦りバレちゃって
easily.
か
I thought I could hide it a little
も
more.
うちょっと隠し通せると思ったんだけどな実際さ目処がついたらちゃんと相談
I was
したい
actually
こ
gonna
と
tell
も
you
あったし
soon because I
打ち明
needed
け
your
る予
help.
定ではあったんだけど
Daru tossed me the towel. Evidently, he'd already used it, because it was covered in black soot. But I decided to wipe the gel netta off my hands with it anyway. Daru went into the development room and started moving boxes and dust covers.
ほれこれが
Here.
2号機
This is Unit 2. And on the table appeared the horrible future gadget number 8, which I'd built, improved, and finally dismantled a year ago.
組み立て直したの
You
か
put it together again.
電話レン 字カッコ仮バージョン
I
2
wasn't sure if I should call it Unit 2 or Version 2.
名前なんてどうでもいい。
I don't care about the name.
マジ？オカリの
Are
言
you
葉とは
serious?
思えないな
I can't believe you're saying that.
どの未来ガジェットもさ
We used to have a roundtable meeting and have a lot of fun picking names for the future gadgets.
黒歴史だろう。
That's all dark history.
そう？
Really? Daru was looking at the dust-covered future gadgets that were sitting on the shelf of the development room, and there was something like fondness in his gaze. Why the hell was he acting like this? Did he think of that nightmare as some kind of happy youthful memory? I mean, parts of it were, technically. I was about to tell him to go screw himself, but held it in.
お前、俺が言ったことを忘れたのか。
Did you forget what I told you?
これは危険だ。
This thing
俺た
is
ちが持っていて
dangerous.
一種のものじゃない。
It's not something we should have.
うんけどさ僕未来でタイムマシン作らないといけないんだよ
But
ね
I need to make a time machine in the future, you know?
そうするとやっぱこいつを研究
Which
する
means
ことが
I need to
その
research
第
this
一
as a
歩だ
first
と
step,
思うわけ
I think.
誰？
Daru! I gave up on trying to hold it back. I got up in his face and yelled at him.
何度も。
I told you again and again and again and again, right?
こいつのせいで。
I told you what would happen because of this
こいつ
thing.
のせいで。
I told you what I went through.
体験をしたのか。これを作ったことで。
Mayuri was killed because we made this thing.
これを作ったことで、クリスは犠牲になったんだ。
Kurisu was sacrificed because we made this thing.
これを作ったことで。
Your daughter went back into the past and committed suicide because we made this thing.
忘れたって言うなら。
If you've forgotten, do you want me to go over it again?
お前はそんなにバカだったのか。
Are you that
自分
stupid?
でそれを体験して
Are
み
you
ないと
so
わから
dumb
ない
that you won't understand unless you experience it for yourself?
バカはあなたよ、岡部倫太郎。
You're the one being stupid, Rentaru Okabe. I suddenly heard an angry female voice behind me. I mean, I like her hair, it's cute. I looked back and saw Maho Hyajo glaring at me. What? Hyajo!
おうゴーロリ
Oh.
来たこれ
Legal lolly for the win.
なんで格好してるんだよ。
What happened to your
っていう
clothes?
かなんでここに。
And wait, what are you doing here?
これは
Oh,
その
um,
つい勢い余って
this is... I just couldn't sit there and listen.
あんまりジロジロ見ないで
Don't stare at me.
痛いわよ
I'll sue.
そっちがそんな格好で出てきたん
It's
じゃな
your
いか。
fault for coming out like that.
ちょっと待ってなさい
Hold on.
今服を
I'll
着
go
て
get
くるから
dressed. Maho quickly went back into the shower room and came out dressed a moment later. Can I drink some water?
失礼待たせたわ
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
もしかして。
Have you been hiding
俺
here
が
since I
来た時
first
は隠れて
arrived?
たのか。
私のことはどうでもいい
Who
でしょ
cares about me?
レスキネン教授に送った沖縄での
Did you
写真は
fake that picture of you in Okinawa that you sent to Dr. Leskinen? Both the professor and I were completely taken in by that picture of her standing on that Okinawan beach. But it seemed we'd both been tricked. It was well made enough that Daru must have been involved.
君の来日の目的は
So you didn't come to
沖縄じゃなか
Japan
った
to
と
visit
いうわけか。
Okinawa.
ええそうよ
Yes, that's right.
あなたが電話レンジ
I came for that machine with the stupid name.
名前をつけた
What was it
そ
again?
のマシンのために来た
Phone
の
wave name subject to change?
君にも説明したはずだ。
I told you what happened because of the D-mails
メール
too.
によって それをまた繰り返すつもりか。
Are you going to repeat that?
違うわ。
何が
No.
違う？
How?
D メールを送れば
If you send a D-mail, Echelon will pick it up,
回線は
and the worldline will go back from beta to
再び
alpha.
アルファに戻ってしまうんだ。そうしたらマユリは
And then, Mayuri will die again.
死ぬ。何度やっても助けられな
I
い。
won't be able to save her.
永遠
No matter what I
死に
do,
続ける。
she'll keep dying for all eternity. That's not how that works. If you don't go back, then no. Well, I mean, whatever. Yes and no. Technically, he's talking about constantly going back and seeing her die over and over and over. And then I had a terrifying thought, and stared directly into Maho's eyes. Yes, the leap. She wants to leap. No way. And she of all people couldn't possibly. I trusted Maho completely, and I didn't want to believe she was capable of it. But the terrible machine that I'd just confronted had drained me of any kind of rationality. A flashback felt like it was going to hit me any second. Images of Karisu and Mayuri's deaths were flashing through my mind. And so I said something I never should have said. Uh-oh.
君はまさか世界線を
You weren't trying to bring back the awful worldline, are you?
え
What?
クリスが生きていて
Are you trying to create a world where Karisu lives and Mayuri dies? What?
この野郎
You asshole! There was an impact on my cheek. And a loud sound in my ears. And the next thing I knew, I was lying on the ground face up. It was a while before I understood what had happened. The left half of my face felt like it was on fire. I was punched. By Daru. I'd known him for 5 years, and this was the first time anything like that had happened.
謝れ今すぐ魔法炭に
Apologize. Apologize to Maho-tan right now.
ちょっとやめ
Wait.
なさい、橋田さん。
Stop it, Hashida.
オカリンがどれだけ苦しんでるかなんて
I can only imagine how much you're suffering,
僕には想像しか
Okarin.
できないけどだから安っぽい同情なんて
So I'm not
しないし
giving you any cheap
するつ
sympathy.
もりもねえよでもなお前
But in the end,
結局ただ
you're just
それに
using that as an
甘えてるだけ
excuse.
じゃねえか魔法炭だって
Maho-tan,
鈴葉だって
Suzuha,
マ
even
だって
Mayushi. Do you know how much they've done for
お
you?
前のためにどれだけ
もういいからよしなさい。
That's enough. Stop it. Maho grabbed Daru's body and tried to hold him back.
離せこいつ
Let me go.
もっとぶん投げて
He's not going to understand unless I hit him again.
もう十分よ。今ので
That's
十分
enough.
だから
What
落
you
ち
just
着い
did
て
was enough, so calm down. And this time, Maho put her hand on Daru's shoulder.
後の説明は私がしておくわ。
I'll explain the
顔でも
rest.
洗ってきなさい。
Go wash your face or something. Go. She pointed towards the shower room, and Daru finally seemed to get control of himself again.
わかった
Fine. He looked a little awkward as he lowered his fist. Normally, he hated any kind of seriousness. So in a situation like this, he'd always tell one of his perverted gentleman jokes. But there were no jokes as he vanished beyond the curtain, into the shower room. A moment later, I could hear the sound of the water.
まったく。
Christ. Maho was looking down at me.
あなたがおかしなことを言うからよ。
This is your fault for being weird.
そうだな。
You're right.
すまなかった。
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
今のは
it.
決して本心じゃ。
分かってるわ。
I know
あな
that.
た
You're
そんな
not
人
like
じゃな
that.
いもの。ほら、立てる？
Come on. Can you stand up? I grabbed her hand and slowly got up. I'd taken a solid hit when I wasn't expecting it, and so my head was still a little dizzy.
今のは聞いた。
And that hurt.
普段
And
優しい
somebody
や
who's
つが
normally
怒
gentle
ると
finally gets mad.
聞くな。
He's really strong. What was the line from Doctor Who? When a good man goes to war? Well, it's not even specifically from Doctor Who. It's like a real thing that Doctor Who was using. It's just that I know it from Doctor Who.
そうね。しかも自分のためじゃなく、
That's
他の
right.
誰かのた
And
めに
when
怒
someone
れる
gets
人
mad
は
for someone else's sake, not their
素
own,
敵だと思う。
I think that's wonderful.
少しだけ見
This
直
has
し
changed
た
my
わ。
opinion of him a little bit. Maho seemed a bit happy as she looked towards the shower room.
見直したの
Don't
は
fall for him. He's already got a future wife. Only a little bit. Doctor Who. Yes.
だって、
Yes, Doctor Who?
私への言動がいつもセクハラばっかりだもの。
The thing is, you probably actually mean that as a question, but yes, you're right. Because he's always sexually harassing me.
もしかしたら君のことが好きになったのかもしれないぞ。
Maybe he's fallen in love with you.
子供がよくやるだろう。
Kids do that all the time, you know.
好きな子に意地悪する
Tease the girls I like.
あれと同
He's
じ
a
だ。
kid at heart, after all.
あいつ
冗談じゃないわ。
You've got to be
鈴
kidding
葉
me.
さんを私の
Do
娘
you
に
want
したわ
Suzaha
け
to be my daughter? Not how that works, but okay.
それはまずいな。
That would be bad, yeah. I chuckled a bit, but quickly stopped and turned to face Maho. The difference between our heights was so great that I was looking down on her.
俺の主観で言えば
At her, not on her.
この世界は
If you want my subjective
ク
opinion,
リスの選択のおかげで
this world exists
Something
because of
still-
Karisu's choice.
クリスがいたから
Mayuri is
マユ
safe
リは
because of
無事でい
Karisu.
られる。
She can live and be happy.
幸せに暮らしていられる。それを俺も守らなくちゃいけない。
I have to protect that.
君は科学者だ。
You're a scientist.
俺なんか
You're a lot
ずっと
smarter
優れ
than
た
I am.
頭脳の持ち主だ。だから
So you can
理解
understand,
できるだろう。
right? You can
この世界
understand the
の
laws
摂
of
理
the
を。
universe.
ええ、
Yeah. Maho quietly nodded.
それは言ってみれば神み
You
たい
could
な
call
もの
it
なんだ
God
ろう。
if you wanted to.
神に人間が挑むなんて
It's stupid for humans to
無
challenge
謀だったん
God.
だ。なのに
But I tried anyway.
何回も
And then I tried a
何十
dozen
回
times
も
more.
何百回も挑ん
And then
だ。
I tried 100 times more after that.
全てが失
And
敗
I
に
failed every time.
無駄
It
だっ
was
た
all
んだ。
useless. To be fair, you kind of dumb sometimes, Rintaro. Like, you're really slow on the uptake a lot of the time. Hello, Kaz. Welcome in.
人の傲慢を神は決して
God
許
will
さない。
never forgive human arrogance. Okay.
そうね。
You're right. Moho was looking out the window. It was as if she was thinking back to her homeland and ancestors.
神というのは
God is a popular
私
guy
の
back
祖国
home,
や
and among the
あ
people
る
of
いは
Okinawa.
沖縄の人たちの間でもポピュラーな私も祖
I
父母
learned
や
those
母
wonderful
母から
beliefs from my parents and
その素
grandparents
敵な
too.
考えを教えられてきた。
Just popping in because bedtime and no reason to be up with fluff unavailable. Fair enough. We'll get some good sleep, Kaz. Rest well.
科学に身を捧げるものではあるけれど、
I'm a
決し
scientist,
て神
but I
を
would
侮
never
った
mess
りは
with
しな
God.
い。
それなら
But then... Maho shook her head a little and looked up at me with a piercing gaze. Suplexes Kai.
けどね、あなたが盛んに口にす
The
る
God
神
you're
は
talking about,
それとは全
that's
く違
completely
う。
different. Her words were sharp, with no room for disagreement.
世界の摂理ですって。そん
The
なものは
laws of the universe?
ただこの世
Those are
界
just
を構築
equations
してい
that
る
define the
数式
world.
に過ぎないわ。神なんて立派なものは介在
The
していない
wonderful
し、
being called God,
私た
has
ちの
nothing to
解
do
が
with them.
導けない道理はない
and
の
there's no
よ。
reason we can't solve them. I was about to respond, but before I could, Maho went inside the development room. I had no choice but to follow her.
D メールとエシロンとの因果、それによる危険性については、
I'm well aware of the relationship between Echelon and the D-mails, and how dangerous it is.
安心しなさい。
Don't worry, we've sealed away the D-mail function for now.
今の時点では封印してある。あなたの懸念しているような
What
事態
you're
は起こ
concerned
らな
about
い
is
し、
never going to happen,
私が絶対に
because
起
I
こ
won't
させ
let
ない。
it. I'm not letting us go back to the Alpha
アル
world
ファ
line.
世界線に戻させたりもしない。
We'll go to the Gamma world line. Or the Omega world line.
もちろん D メールの危険を回避する方法も
Of
エ
course,
シュロンを向こうとして
Hashida and I are working on a way to avoid the
橋田さん
danger
と
of the
検討中
D-mail,
よ。
and to neutralize Echelon.
ただ今はその
But
検
before
証
we
に
start
リソースを
spending
割く
resources
先
on
に
that,
やらなく
there's
ては
something
な
we
ら
have
な
to
い
do
ことがある
first.
の。
Something
個人的
personal.
にもね。
Maho tapped the top of the phone wave unit too. That's not the
今
full name.
私たちが研究しているのは
What we're researching now is the time leap technology that you say Kurisu developed.
じゃあタイムリープしかできない
Then
のか
this can only time leap. Not really, not yet.
そういうことになるわね。
That's right. Sorry, Dion. She was right. I was looking at a time leap machine, not the phone wave named subject to change. I could tell they recreated all the improvements that Kurisu had made to the phone wave. The most obvious was the PC and monitor that were connected to the microwave. And connected to the PC was a headset and what looked like a cord covered in electrodes. In this world line, only I knew the details of how the time leap machine was set up, and I hadn't told Daru or Maho about them. In other words, with only some small hints, Maho had managed to create the same thing as Kurisu.
正直なところ
To be honest,
とても
it's really
悔しいわ。
frustrating.
悔しい
Frustrating.
研究すればするほどやっぱり私は
The more research I
クリ
do,
スにはなれない
the
って
more I realize that I can never be
思い知ら
Kurisu.
されるのよ。記憶をデータ化して
Obviously.
そ
I
れを
can
ト
get
ッ
as
プダ
far
ウ
as
ン検索
digitizing
信
the
号を
memory
込みで
data
携帯
and
電話に
transferring
転
it
送
to a
す
cell
る。
phone along with the top-down
そ
search
こまではで
signals.
きるの。ただ
But I still can't clear the
最大
biggest
の問
hurdle,
題がクリアできな
even
い。
though Kurisu could.
クリスは
データの圧縮
The data compression, right? Maho nodded.
何テラバイトもある膨大な記憶データを
I just can't solve the mystery of how she managed to compress all those
そ
terabytes
の
of
謎
data.
が私ではどうしても解けない。
And that was the part that Kurisu had struggled with the most too. But in the end, with Daru's help, she'd been able to do it. And look who's here, Daru.
クリスか
Helping
ら
her.
何か聞いているのかしら。
Did Kurisu tell you anything about it? Say no. She seemed a little unhappy as she asked me that. Asking for the answer meant giving up on finding the solution for herself, and so it meant admitting defeat. Maybe that was really hard for her. Yet she'd chosen to put completing the machine first. But I had no intention of giving her the answer right away.
前
Drink some water.
俺の経験したことを話した時に約束をしたよな。覚えてるか？
You made me a promise when we last talked, right?
タイムマシンでマキセ・クリスを救おうなんて
That you wouldn't try to save
絶対に
Kurisu
考えない
Makise using the time machine.
ええ
That's right.
今でもその約束を守る
Do you still
つもりがある
intend to keep it? I mean, she didn't promise that someone else would do it.
その気がないなら
If
協
you
力は
don't,
できない。
I can't help you. Maho didn't answer for a while. Okay, well, even if you tell him you promise, you took too long to answer. He's not helping you. But without even looking at her face, I could tell she was being torn apart inside.
もちろん守るわ。あなたとの約束だもの。
Who would believe this? Of course I do. I promised you after all. After a long pause, she gave her answer. I couldn't help but laugh.
君は嘘が下手だな。
And you're a terrible liar.
そんな顔をしていた
With
ら
that look on your face,
すぐにバレる。
it's obvious you're not telling the truth.
話は終わったな。
We're done talking. And then I left the development room. I looked towards the shower room, but I could still hear the sound of falling water from within. And Daru was showing no signs of being done. So he's just letting the water run?
なあ、ダル、
Hey, Daru,
バカは俺だった。
I was the stupid one.
本当にすまなかっ
I'm
た。
really sorry. I spoke, but there was no answer. Maybe he hadn't heard me. It seemed better for both of us if I apologized tomorrow.
また
I'll be back tomorrow. And that was all I said as I headed towards the door. Maho followed me. She came up to me so fast she almost slammed into me.
シュタインズゲートは実在すると思う？
Do you think Science Gate exists? It does.
マユリさんが死ぬことなく、そ
Do you
して
think there's really another
クリスも
worldline?
犠牲にならない。
And the gap between the Alpha and
そん
Beta
な
ones?
狭間の世界線が
Where Mayuri survives
あると
and
思う。
Kurisu doesn't have to die? See, if he says yes, then what has he been doing? He can't say yes to this.
それを目指した俺の顛末を知りたいなら、鈴葉に
If you want to know what happened when I tried to reach it, ask Suzuha.
結局、
In the
運
end,
命には逆らえなかった。
I couldn't beat fate.
あんなのは
Steins
くだらない
Gate
妄想だよ。
is just a stupid delusion.
そう言い切ってしまって本当にいいの？
Are you really sure, though?
ないと。
You haven't proven that it doesn't exist, you
証明されたわ
know.
けでもないのよ。
そんなの、
That's just the devil's proof, though, right?
そんな
Nobody can prove a negative.
誰にもできるわけがない。
そうよ。あるのかないのか
That's
も
right.
証明されてい
You
ないの
haven't
に。
proven whether it exists or not. You've given up after one
失敗
failure.
したくらいで諦めた。
Well, I mean, if you knew, it's because she still doesn't know. He had failed many, many, many times. The only reason he finally succeeded is because he simply undid what he did. That was his only success, was to just undo everything. And then his one failure in this situation was that he killed Kurisu himself. So, yeah. Maho was gritting her teeth hard.
呆れてしまうわ。
I can't believe you.
何
What? I almost went out of control and grabbed her by the shoulders. But I managed to stop myself at the last second.
さっきも言っただろ
I told you before, right?
俺
I
は
tried
それ以前
dozens.
に何
No.
回も何十回も
Hundreds of times before
何百回
that.
も挑んで
私も言ったはずよ。それは
And remember what I
神の摂理
said?
でも何でもないって。
That's not because of the laws of God, whatever they may be.
世界線もタイムマシンも
The
シュ
world
タインズゲー
lines,
トなんても
the
のも
time machine, Stein's Gate.
どれも
They're all just part of the equations that make up the world.
何回も何十回も何
You
百回も
failed
失敗
dozens
し
of
た。
times, or hundreds of times?
だからなんだというの？
So what?
そんなの科学の世界では
That
当たり前
happens
の
all
こ
the
とよ。
time in science.
それで失敗したのな
If
ら
you fail that many
何
times,
千回も
then you try
何
1,000
万回も
times,
何億回
or
も
a
挑
million
戦すれば
times.
いい。
or a billion times. That's because you don't know about the one of the endings with Suzuha's ending. Well, technically, no, that doesn't count. Because that's just him repeating the exact same life over and over and over. No, that doesn't count. Sorry. Never mind.
そうすれば必ずそこに解放は見つかる。
And then you're certain to find the answer.
君は
You.
何も知らない
You
し
don't know
経験していない
anything.
から
You haven't
そんな
experienced.
無責任なことが言えるんだ
That's the only reason why you can say something so irresponsible.
いいえ、嫌というほど経験してきたわ。
No. I've experienced all of that more times than I can count.
その痛みも
Failures,
飽き
setbacks,
てクリストファー
regrets,
天才のせいで。
and the pain that comes with them. And all because of the genius named Kurisu Makase. I wonder what she would say if he tells her that he's the one that killed her.
数式に感情はないだろ
Equations don't have feelings.
数式を解くのは人間よ。
Yeah, but it's always humans who solve them in the end. We were glaring at each other, our faces close enough to kiss. Okay. Maho's gaze burned into me. For some reason, I couldn't bear to look at her. So I turned away. I turned around without saying a word and tried to head out the door. But she grabbed the hem of my shirt and stopped me. I didn't expect that.
まだ何か用か
Do you need something else? I turned around, annoyed. A moment ago, her expression had been so fierce, but now she simply wore a sad smile. It was so different that, for a moment, I thought I'd jump world lines. Huh? Maho whispered to me.
あなたこそ嘘が下手
You're a
ね。
terrible liar too.
嘘
Liar. Was I lying? I put my hands up to my face, trying to figure out what she meant. But that didn't tell me what kind of look I had on my face, of course. So I simply stood there, confused.
嘘って
Liar.
なんだ
What do you mean? I'm not lying.
俺は嘘なんてついてない
橋田さんに聞いたんだけど、
Hashida told me something.
1年前のあなたって
He said that a year ago,
タイム
he
マ
couldn't
シン
even
に
bring
関
up
し
the
ては
time
取り
machine
付く
with
島
you.
もなかったんですってね。 シュタインズゲートの話なんて
And Steins Gate was out of the question entirely.
口にするのもはばかられるほどだったって。
一体何を言って。
What are you talking about?
でも今は違う
But it's different now. The look on your face is the same as the one I used to
あ
have
な
all
た
the
のその
time.
顔クリスに実証実験で負けて
I'd lost to Kurisu during the
論文の
experimental
評価でも負
trials.
けて
I'd lost to her
冷
with
静
my
でも負け
papers.
続けて
I'd lost to her in terms of
落ち込
fame.
んで
I was so depressed I
も
was
うダ
ready
メ
to
だ
give
って
up.
思ってけどいつも
But
最
in
後
the
は
end, I'd always look at
鏡を見
myself
て
in the
自分
mirror
を叱
and
りつ
yell.
けたのよ
Maho pointed to her own heart with her index finger.
挑戦するのを諦めたら終
If
わ
you
り
give up on trying,
そう
it's
したら
over. And then
永
you'll
遠
never
に
win.
勝つことはできないってね
And then she pointed it at my left breast. Okay. At your heart.
今のあなたはその時の私と同じ顔よ
Your face is the same as mine was.
心の奥の奥では
At
ま
the
だ
very,
リベンジする
very
気がい
bottom
る
of your heart, you're still ready to take revenge.
自分をこんな惨めな男へと
You're
貶
ready
め
to
た
take revenge on Steins Gate
シュタインズゲートに
for making you into this pathetic person. Me. I still hadn't given up.
違う。そんなことは
No.
ない。
That's not true.
違わないわ
It is
あな
true.
たってね
You really are just
ほ
like
んと
me.
私にそっくりまるで胸像みたい
It's like I'm seeing my own reflection.
強情で一度言
You're
い出したら
stubborn.
聞かなくて
And once you say something,
自分が間違
you
った
never
と
back
分かっ
down.
ても
Even if you know you're
それを
wrong,
絶対に認
you
めたくな
pout
く
like
て
a
子
child
供
and
みたい
refuse
に
to
する
admit
って
it. Hitting the
誰か
nail
に
right on
心
the
配や
head,
迷惑ばかりか
which
け
causes all kinds of worry and trouble for everyone else.
でそんなことないよとか
It would make me feel a lot
少し
better
く
if
ら
you
いは
told me
フォ
I
ローして
wasn't
もら
like
えない
that.
とちょっと傷つくわね
I'm sure it would,
けどねだからこ
but
そわかる
that's
の
why I
よ
understand.
私もあなたも
When it comes down to it,
絶対に
both
自
you
分
and
の
I are
足
going
で
to
立ち
stand
上
up
が
on
る
our
の
own 2 feet.
そうでしょ
Am I wrong,
岡部倫
Rentaro
太郎さん
Okabe?
もう一度言うわ
I'll say it again.
あらゆる世界
All
の
the
説
laws
は
of this world are
た
just
だの数
equations,
式であり
and every
その
equation
解
can be
放は
solved.
必ず存在する私は何としても見つけてやるわ
I'm going to find the key to that answer
神
no
なん
matter
て
what,
介在しない
and God has
ただ
nothing
の
to do
数
with
式
it.
を解く鍵よ
So in the original game, he goes back because he tells himself, I did not press space.
マユリさん
He
が
goes
死な
back
ない
because he tells himself
ク
from
リ
the
スに
future.
生きている
The one that
狭間
never
の世
stopped
界線
trying.
に続く道へとたどり着いて
Since
い
that
る
doesn't exist yet in this world, I guess she's the one that tells him that. And then it replaces her with himself from the future. Because the outcome stays the same, but the means of how the outcome happens is what changes. And I'm going to reach the world line in the gap, where Mayuri doesn't die and Kurisu is still alive. After saying all that, Maho was a little out of breath. And she had a lot of vitality in her tiny body. Her words, the way she looked, they hit me so hard I couldn't speak.
であなたはどうするの
What will you do?
岡部所長
This is
こ
your
こはあな
lab,
たの
right?
ラボなのでしょ
It can't keep running without you
いつ
forever.
までも所長不在では
俺は
I.
俺は
I. And then I got a Rhine message. Is this where you want me to answer it, or is it a story message? Now, of all times. Okay, he is taking it out. It's a story message. But still, I had a terrible premonition. So I decided to take out my smartphone. Wait, what? Oh god, what was Luca's voice? It was like I tried to do like a really high. It was a stupid voice for sure. So sorry to those who are experiencing it for the first time. Big trouble. What do I do? Mayuri, I just happened to pass by her. That was not the voice. I don't remember the voice at all, actually. And she was running away crying. I've never seen her sad. What? Mayuri was crying. Where is Luca right now? You say Mayuri passed by you. Passed by you where? Are you nearby? I could tell that something bad was going on. Either Mayu is crying from having heard us, or something else bad has happened. When she saw my shock, Maho looked over at the phone too. She was crying. What happened? I don't know. I just happened to run into her, so I said hi. And she was crying. I was really surprised, but when I asked what was going on, she was really upset. Oh, she did hear us. She did hear us. She said that it was her fault Kurisu had died, and that's why you were suffering. She said she should have died instead. And then she ran away. I ran after her, but I lost her. Oh, Levi, welcome in. How are you today? What do I do, Okabe? What do I do? What? Oops, sorry, my mouse. I looked at Maho. Did she hear that? Come to... Oh, wait. Itaru showed up. Come to think of it, Daru had come out of the shower room at some point and was standing right behind me. I'm also doing good, Levi. Glad to hear you're doing good. It was Mayushi who told me you were coming to the lab. She said she was coming here too. Then that meant... there was a good chance she did. Oh. No. I felt like my knees were going to give out. Mayuri existed in this world line because of Kurisu's sacrifice. And that was the one thing that Mayuri could never find out. Oh, Spicy, welcome in. Thanks for your daily check-in. Me, Daru, Suzuha, Ferris, Maho. Everyone who knew the truth had kept it from her. I needed to find her. See ya. Thanks for stopping by, Levi. Have a good rest of your day. I needed to find Mayuri. I couldn't let her be alone right now. Damn it! I ran out of the lab. Phew, it's still hot. The summer solstice had passed, and by 6 p.m. the sun was finally setting behind the city's skyline. Part of the sky was still red and the rest a dirty blue. For the past few days, Suzuha had worked on the time machine on top of the radio building. It was almost time for her to go back to the past, which meant she was putting a lot more effort into the maintenance work. Parts which could normally get dirty with no trouble had been polished to a sparkling shine. I'm overthinking this. Maybe I really am worried. She finished her work, but put her tools back in the box and stored the box in the time machine's cockpit. Then she looked down in the control seat and took another look at the battery gauge. With the amount of fuel she had left, in less than a month, she wouldn't be able to go back to July 27, 2010. She had to leave this era before that time limit passed her by. The original plan of taking Rintaro to the past looked like it was going to fail. That meant she would have to go on the mission that she'd spent the last year coming up with all by herself.
それにしても父
I
さん
still
ってば
can't believe you did this,
これ
Dad.
はないよな。
She chuckled to herself and stuck her hand deep into the computer core. Inside was an external hard drive that clearly belonged to 2011, not 2036. Itaro had probably put it here when her back was turned. One of the secondary torch panel monitors was displaying a warning that read, "Foreign object detected in cockpit." These machines were capable of breaking through early 21st century camouflage in less than a second. It was clear from the way the fake wires were laid out that the monitoring and data retrieval were not its objectives. He'd probably hidden it here because he didn't want anyone to find it. Maybe she should just pretend she didn't see it and leave it here until she was just about to leave. That wouldn't be Mayu, would it? As she pondered the best course of action, she heard the heavy door outside opening.
Oh.
Actually, isn't it supposed to not open unless it's her that does it? Someone was here. Suzuha pulled her gun from its holster and looked out from the cockpit toward the iron door that led into the building. She still remembered what happened with Kagari that other day. It couldn't hurt to be careful. But when she saw who it was, she relaxed. Yep, it's Mayu.
まゆ姉さん、珍しいね。
Big sis Mayu.
ここへ来る
I
なんて。
almost never see you here. She put her gun away and jumped out of the cockpit to welcome her.
すずさん。
Suzu,
お、泣いてるの？何があ
are
った？
you crying? What happened? Suzuha had no idea why the always smiling Mayuri would be crying. Hydrate, thank you, Corin. Thanks for the contribution.
どうしてみんなは教えてくれなかった
Why
の
didn't
か
anybody
な
tell me?
え？
Huh?
クリスさんっていう人と
Why didn't anybody tell Mayushi the truth
林
about
と
her
の
and this person named Kurisu
本
Makise?
当のこと
She almost spoke, but quickly cut herself off. How did she hear, and from whom, the cruel truth that Mayuri's survival depended on Kurisu Makase's death? There was nothing in the world Suzuha had wanted to see less than the look on Mayuri's face when she discovered that.
誰に聞いたの？
Who told you? But there was only a few people who knew the truth. Excluding herself, only Rintaro, Itaru, Ferris, and Maho. And none of them would deliberately tell her. In fact, they'd all hidden it for her sake.
オカリンと真帆さんが話して
I
い
heard
るのを
Ocarine and Maho
聞
talking.
いちゃった
And then it was an accident, after all. Hey,
ねえすずさん
Suzu, can you tell me about
お話
something?
聞いてもいい ?2036 年の
About Mayushi and Ocarine.
マユシ
in the
ー
year
とオカリンのこと
2036. We're not a couple, that's for sure. Suzuha wasn't sure what to say. To be honest, she didn't want to say anything at all. It wasn't something that would make her feel better.
未来のことは知らな
You'll
い
be
方が
happier not knowing
幸せ
about
だ
the
よ。
future. Another line of tears spilled down Mayuri's cheek.
マユシーなんてね、この世界にいても
That's not true.
何の役にも立たないよ。
Mayushi's not good for anything, no matter what world she's in.
だったらクリスさんの
The
方
world needs Kurisu a lot more than it needs me. And so does
が
Ocarine.
リンのためにもずっと必要なんだよ。
Suzuha suddenly felt like she was looking at the Mayuri she'd known in the future. She thought of the big sis Mayu that she'd seen ever since she was a little girl, and she couldn't refuse her request.
私の知ってる未来のまゆ姉さんも
The big sis Mayu I knew used to say the same thing sometimes,
そんな時は決まって
and then she'd always stare off into the
空を
sky.
眺めてるんだ。すごく寂しそうで切な
She
そう
looked
だっ
so
た。
sad, like she was in pain.
私もかがりも
Me and Kagari
まゆ
hated
姉さん
seeing
の
her
そん
like
な
that.
顔を見るのが辛かった。
かがり
It was only then that she remembered she'd been keeping Kagari a secret from Mayuri.
かがりっていう名前の女の子
There
がい
was
た
a
ん
girl
だ。
named Kagari.
戦災孤児でさ、
She was a war
まゆ
orphan.
姉さんが引き取った
You
んだ。
adopted her. So
だ
she's
から
your
まゆ
daughter.
姉さんの娘。
マユシーの娘
Mayushi's daughter?
優しくて
She
で
was a
も
kind
強い
girl,
子でね。
but strong.
まだ
She was
こん
still
な
so
に小さいう
tiny,
ちから
but she'd always say that it was her job to
いつも言ってた。
protect her mommy.
そんな子だったから
And
母
so
親である
seeing you
まゆ姉さ
sad
ん
really
が
hurt her,
寂
I
しそうに
think.
してるのはかなり答えてたはず。そういえば7月
Come
7
to
日
think of it, today's July 7th.
七夕
Tanabata.
って言うんだってね。
Huh? Yeah.
私は子供の頃に
When I was a
ま
kid,
ゆ姉さんから
you were the
教わ
one
っ
who
たん
taught me
だ。
about that.
織姫と彦星が年に一度
That it was the
会う
one
こと
day
が
of
で
the
き
year
る
when
日だって
Orihime and Hikoboshi could see each other.
大気汚
Hikobo,
染がひどくて
Hikoboshi, I don't know.
星
Sorry.
なんて見えない
I'm
時
bad
代
at
だっ
pronouncing
た
all of
け
these
ど
names, obviously.
まゆ姉さんは言ってたよ。
The air pollution was so bad you could never see the stars. But you told me about it anyway.
雲が夜空を覆っていても星は
Even if the
世界
clouds
か
are
ら
covering
消
the
え
night
ちゃ
sky,
うわけじゃない。
the stars aren't gone from this world.
雲の
They're still
向
shining
こ
on
う
the
で
other side.
だから
So let's
一
pray
緒に
together,
お祈り
okay?
しようね。
そんなまゆ姉さんの言葉が
The words you
私
said
やか
gave
がり
me
に
and
は希
Kagari
望に
hope.
なったんだ。
That's the
それ
one
だけ
thing I
は
want you to know.
知っておいてほしい。少なくとも
If
私
nothing
やか
else,
がりにとっては
both she and I needed you.
まゆ姉さんが必要だった。それにオカリンおじさんだって
And Uncle
死ぬ
Ocarin
までまゆ
really
姉さん
cared
のこと
about
を
you
大
until
事
he
にしてたん
died.
だ。
Your
まゆ姉
happiness
さん
was
の
the one
幸
thing
せ
he
のこと
thought
ば
about.
かり考えていたんだ。
死ぬまで
I don't know that that was a good thing to say, but until he died? Yeah. Oh. Maybe that was another cruel truth for her. But Suzuha decided that she would hold nothing back now.
そうだよ。
That's right.
オカリンおじさんは
Uncle Ocarine.
今
only
から
lives for another
15年後まで
15
しか生きられない。
Well, thanks for your contribution, Lack. I don't know if that was a while ago, I'm just now noticing. What?
まゆ姉さんをかばって死ぬんだ。
He dies protecting you.
嘘
No.
オカリンおじさんは
Later,
最後にこう言ってたって
Dad told me Uncle
父
Ocarin's
さん
last
に後
words.
から聞いた。まゆりの命を助けることができて本当によかった。
I'm really glad I was able to save Mayuri.
自分はまゆりを守る
What do you
ために
mean?
生きて
I'm long
きたん
asleep?
だ
Of course it was an hour ago? Uh-huh. Sure. And you're just sleep talking right now. The whole reason I'm alive is to protect Mayuri. Oh, hydrate, thank you. No. Drown in those words. Mayuri put both her hands over her mouth.
でもまゆ姉さんは
But you
その
never
こ
got
とを
over it,
ず
I
っと
think.
引きずっていたんだろうな。私たちには見えないと
When
こ
we
ろで
couldn't see you, you'd look up into the Tanabata sky
七
and
夕
whisper
の
to
空を
yourself,
見上げてつぶやいてた。
あの日私の彦星様が復活していたら
If my Hokoboshi had come back to the life that
全て
day,
が変わって
would
いた
everything be
のか
different
な
now?
あの日私の彦星様
That day? My Hikoboshi?
私の
My... Mayuri was repeating the words to herself. The tears were still pouring down her face. But her sad cries finally came to a stop. She was still shaking, but her voice had gotten quiet.
どういうことなの
I think you know what that means. What does that mean?
私今ならわか
I
る気
think
が
I
す
know
る。
now.
1年前私
A year ago,
オカリンお
I
じ
was
さんの
really
態
angry
度
at
に
Uncle
本気でム
Okarin.
カついたんだ。チャンスが目の前にあるの
The
に
chance was right in front of him, so why did he give up?
そんなオカリンおじさんをかばって
And I was really mad
甘やか
at
してる
you,
まゆ姉さん
too,
のことも
for stopping him from doing what he
本当
needed
は
to
許せ
do.
なかったんだよね。でもさ、この1年
But after
ここ
living
で
here
暮
for
ら
a
して
year,
みて感
I
じたん
realized
だ。
that I was the one who was wrong.
今ならあの日の
I
オカリ
think
ンお
now
じさんと
I might be able to talk to Uncle
もっと
Okarin.
ちゃんと話せるかもしれない。
あの日
That day?
それでうまく説得できるか
I
ど
don't
う
know whether
か
I can really change his mind or
そ
not,
こまで
though.
は自信ないんだけどね。
As the sun set in the west, the shadow of the time machine lengthened, and Suzuha's along with it.
私に残されたチャンスは
I only
あ
have
と
one
一
chance
度だ
left.
け。それなら未来
So
の
I
マ
think
ヨ
I'm
ネーさ
going
ん
to
の
bet
言
on
葉
those
に
words you said.
かけてみようと思う。マキセ・クリスが殺された日じゃ
I'm
な
not
く
going back to the day when Kurisu Makase was killed.
マユ姉さんの言ってたあの日へ
I'm
と
going to the
ね
day you spoke of,
マユ姉さんの望みを叶えられる
and
か
I'll see
ど
if
う
I
か
can
試
grant
して
your
みる。
wish.
マユシーの望み
Mayushi's wish. Suzuha gently rubbed Mayuri's tiny little shoulders.
それがシュタインズゲートへ
I'm
向か
going
う
to
鍵
believe
だっ
that's the
て
key to Steins Gate.
信じてみる。シュタインズゲートを開くことが
The
で
key
きる
that can
のは
open Steins Gate
彦
isn't
星
a
をや
normal
めちゃった
star
普
that's
通
given
の
up
星
on
じゃな
being
くって
Hikoboshi.
マユ姉さんの彦星
I
し
think
か
only your
い
Hikoboshi
な
can
い
do
よう
the
な
job.
気がするからさ。
Actually, let me hear how she says it. Because obviously I'm talking over here, so I'm not hearing it, but
シュタインズゲートを開くことができるのは彦星をやめちゃった普通の星じゃなくって
didn't even hear it. I don't even know where it was in that sentence. Hang on. Let me go to the next one.
私が
And then I should be able to hear it.
マユ姉さんの彦星しか
Hikoboshi?
いないようなマユ姉さんの彦星しかいないような気がする
It's
から
just
さ
that I'm saying it in my English American accent, so it sounds bad, but
あなたに考案したミッションは
so basically, my new mission plan
彦星の復活
is to bring Hikoboshi back to life.
父さん流に言うなら
Dad would probably call it
オペレーションアルタイルとか
Operation Altair,
オペレーションアー
or
クライ
maybe
トとか
Operation Aquila.
それとも
Or maybe since it's bringing Altair and Aquila back together, it would be Operation Deneb. What?
父さんほどのセンスは私にはないみたいだ。
I guess I'm not good at coming up with names, like he is. Mayuri tried to draw herself up as best as she could on wobbling legs.
すずさん、
Hey, Suzu,
そのオペレーション、
that operation.
マ
Let
ユ
Mayushi
シにや
do
ら
it.
せて。
Suzu stared at the girl in front of her, unable to believe what she just heard.
これは危険な賭けだ。
This is a
私の
dangerous
考え
bet.
が間違ってて、
If I'm wrong,
失敗するだけか
you
も
may
しれな
simply
い。
fail.
タイムマシンにも限界が
The
来てて、
time machine is at its limit,
いつ制御不能に
and
な
I
るか
don't know
わ
when
から
it'll go
な
out
い。
of control.
そのまま消滅
It
し
may
てしまうか
simply
もしれない。
vanish.
それでもお願い。
Even so, please.
マユシーだってラボメンなんだよ。
Mayushi's a lab member too,
オ
right?
カリンとダル君に
I don't want to
助け
just
ても
have
らってばっか
Ocarine
り
and
なの
Daru
は
save me and never do anything for them.
嫌だよ。
Mayuri rubbed her eyes hard and wiped away her tears. Life was slowly returning to her frail body.
マユシーね、
Mayushi
オカリンのことが好
likes Ocarine.
き。多分クリスさんと
Mayushi
同
loves
じ
him
ぐら
as
い。
much as Karisu. No,
ううん、
that's not
違
true.
う。
Mayushi knows she loves him a lot more.
クリスさんに負けないくらい。ずっとけど、
Oh, that's sad.
だけど、
But
私は
I...
法院京馬がもっともっと大好きなの。
I love Kiyoma Hyoen much more.
私がおばあちゃんを亡くして
When I lost my grandma,
この
and I
世
was
界から
about to
消
just
えてな
disappear,
くなっちゃいそう。そんな私に向かって
he came to save me, and he said
この世
Stay
界
in
に
this
ず
world
っといろ
forever.
って言って
he saved me.
救ってくれたの。それが彼なの。
That's
私
him,
の彦星様な
my
の。
Hikoboshi.
私
I
ね
want to see him again.
あの偉そうな高笑
I
いを
want to hear that arrogant
ま
laugh
た
of
聞
his
きたい。
again.
たとえ私が
Even if I know I can never be
織姫
Orihime,
様になれないって分かってても、それでも
he'll always
私
be
にと
my
っての
Hikoboshi,
彦星様は
and no one else ever will.
これまでも
Don't say that.
これからも
You can fall for someone
ず
else.
っとずっと法院京馬に会いたいよ。
I want to see Kiyoma Hyoen again. The girl who could never be Orihime shouted all of her feelings to the world at the top of her lungs, as I whispered it. And right in that instant, Suzaha heard a sound from her cell phone that she'd never heard before.
これは
What is this? It was the sound of a video message. When she saw the sender and subject line, Suzaha gasped. Okay, it's either from Mayuri or Beryl?
これ未
From
来から
Daru.
のムービーメール。
This is a video message from the future. Okay, this chapter just started, and these chapters can be kind of long. Why is he... Oh, what's wrong with him? I'm going to have to call it here, though. Yeah, I'm going to have to... 2 hours is pretty good. I think for Steins Gate, I am going to start making them a little bit shorter, to about 2 hours, which was kind of what I was already doing. 2 to 3 hours if I can. So it probably will take me a little longer to finish this series, because I do it only every Friday. But honestly, I'm not really in any rush. I can just slowly enjoy the story, slowly digest it. If I press X, I can do this. I think I'd rather have a character here, so let me save so I can jump ahead to a character on screen. So I can use that as a thumbnail. I don't think I'll save here. Let me just kind of jump ahead, ignore all this. Sure, that'll work. That'll work. Press X. We will call it there. Let me turn off the game volume. Hydrate. I shall do that in a moment. Thank you, Kai. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. For those who were in chat and those who were just lurking, I appreciate it. I will find someone to raid on Twitch. So I'll get the raid message up. Raid 1 for followers. Raid 2 for subscribers. So thank you, everyone, for being here, both on Twitch and on YouTube. I hope you all have a good morning, day, or night, whatever time it is for you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone. And right after this, I will post my schedule on both Discord and on YouTube community post. The schedule for next week's gaming days. Bye, everyone.
In a room where shadows loom, a man sits deep in gloom, with a pen held tight in hand, sketching dreams that understand. Walls may close, the night may fall, but his spirit stands tall. Lines he draws are doors that lead to worlds where dreams are free. With a pen he builds his dreams, turning silence into streams. In his mind he's never alone, crafting realms he calls his own. Paper whispers, secrets told, journeys inked in black and bold. Mountains climb or rivers bend, in the world that he can mend. He may be confined and still, yet his heart is wild with thrill. Through each line a sky so wide, in his world he takes a ride. Every size painted bright, stars that gleam in darkest night. With a pen his spirit sings, soaring high on humble